Hi everyone, welcome back to Arts and Psychology. I hope you're all doing well on this fine day and thank you for joining us. We're here with Lalah Gómez, or better known as Lalah. She's a singer-songwriter and actress from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Sube le mambo pa' que mi gata prendan los motores. Sube le mambo pa' que mi gata prendan los motores. Sube le mambo pa' que mi gata prendan los motores. Que se preparen que lo que viene pa' que le den duro.
I'm doing pretty good. Today's been a really good day, actually. I woke up with a dog that I'm actually fostering.
That is adorable.
He was sleeping tonight. Like, he was sleeping with me tonight, and he didn't let me sleep at all because he wanted to be cuddled. And it was very frustrating because I was very sleepy, but it's so cute to have like a little animal that just depends on you. So today's been a good day. It's been pretty good.
That's great. So what have you been doing throughout this quarantine?
So every single day has been different. Like, I can't tell you that I've been doing, like, I don't have a routine really. But mainly I've been trying to like make videos and make mashups, covers, write songs, because I feel like this time where I'm not like supposed to be doing anything, it's a very good time to just be creative and start to like I don't know, like go back to the ideas that I had maybe one day that I never got to develop and I never got to really, maybe finish a song or whatever. But it's never been something that I'm like, okay, so today I'm gonna be doing this. Like, I just wake up in the morning and whatever I feel like doing, I do.
Okay. So is there like any hobbies that you were able to take back throughout this quarantine, or you're just doing your normal self stuff?
Well, I realized when quarantine started that I hadn't been playing guitar as much, and I started trying to like learn new things, and I realized that I was kind of losing my skills, the skills that I had when I was younger playing guitar, and that definitely like I started doing again, and I'm definitely playing guitar every single day now. And I also like I thought that I would be writing a lot, like writing like with paper, because that's usually what I do when I'm writing songs, and I have actually stopped writing for some reason. Like, I'm just typing in my computer or my phone, so I should definitely get better on that. Like, I should start writing again. But yeah, there have been a few things that I've stopped doing and other things that I've started doing again, which is good. And some of them are bad, but it's fine because it's quarantine, so.
True. So you say you play the guitar. What other instruments you play?
I play ukulele and I play piano. Sadly, I don't have a piano right now where I am. So that's been another thing that I've been thinking, like, what if when quarantine is over, like, I'm not good at piano anymore? Just like it was with guitar before, that I'm not as good as I used to be. And that's been kind of stressful in my mind because I'm trying to portray myself as a pianist too, like a singer-songwriter, and my first instrument would be piano.
Okay.
But that's probably not going to happen because I'm probably not going to be as skilled in piano as I am in
You can just
guitar.
always take it back again. So don't worry about not being skilled at the end of quarantine, because girl, you have it there. It's not going to go anywhere. So don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to talk also about your artistic career. I know that both your parents have like a background in arts also. So I wanted to know if like when you started because you wanted it, or just because you like grew up in this place where art was a part of it already?
I feel like it was kind of both, because I grew up being very passionate about music and theater, and I also grew up in an environment where I was able to do those things, and it was almost like natural. Everyone expected it to happen. Everyone expected us to be, me and my brother and my older brother, like everyone expected us to be musicians at some point. But it was never forced. Like, nobody was trying to force it. Nobody was trying to, my dad never like offered me anything. He would see that I would be doing things, like I would be playing guitar. I would start playing, and then he would like later ask me like, do you want your own guitar? And I would be like, yeah, and then he would get it for me. But it was never, nobody ever forced us to do anything. It just kind of happened naturally. And low-key, I feel like my mom, she's a theater teacher, and my dad, he's a musician, producer. I feel like low-key they wanted us to pursue different careers because they know how difficult it is. That definitely not only being a musician and being an artist, but also trying to provide for a family or do anything that we want to do, like in Puerto Rico. Like they always told us that if we wanted to go for the arts, we should look outside of Puerto Rico, like go study outside of Puerto Rico or whatever we wanted to do. But we love Puerto Rico, so we're probably gonna stay here at the end of the day.
Your parents wanted you guys in a way like to pursue another career. Do you see yourself doing something else that is not arts?
I was thinking about this the other day. Somebody asked me something like if you weren't gonna be like an artist, like if you didn't have anything to do with arts at all whatsoever, what would you be doing? And I got stuck thinking about that, because if I wasn't a musician, I would be an actress, and if I wasn't an actress, I would probably be a songwriter, and if I wasn't a songwriter, I probably would be a writer. And if
like everything is like inside the arts. It doesn't matter what it is, just there.
I'm not good at math. I'm not good at cooking. I'm not good at, I don't know, maybe a beauty guru, and even that, it has to do with art. Like it's not like nothing that I would be good at would be outside of the arts, which is kind of interesting because other people have nothing to do with the arts and everything to do with everything else. And it's very interesting, but I definitely do not see myself studying anything else. I would not want to study anything else. I mean, I guess I like human rights and I like feminism and I like all of these things, but I feel like the only way I can really express all of those things is through art. I wouldn't know how to like talk about feminism if I weren't writing a song about it, or I wouldn't know how to, express myself about how I feel about, I don't know, sexual harassment or all the things that women go through every single day. I wouldn't know how to express all of that without music.
Okay, I saw that you wrote a song for feminism.
It was like a competition. Okay, so I wrote it for a showcase from my school, Sedin. We had like a showcase like at the end of the year, like for like winter break. We had to do a presentation where we had to like write something of our own. It could be a monologue, it could be a song, we could, choreograph a dance, do whatever we wanted to do, and we had to do it like we had to talk about something. It had to be some kind of like a social critic, I guess, like that has a name. Anyways, I wrote the song in like 20 minutes, and I didn't really feel like I wanted to talk about it, but I was very passionate about the topic at that time, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be controversial. People are probably not gonna like it or whatever. But I went to school the day after I wrote it, and I showed it in the classroom because we were able to prepare for the showcase, and everyone would judge our piece before we went and did it. One of the girls in the class started crying when I sang it, and that's when I realized that I was like, oh, so it could be touchy, but it also can make an impact very fast. Because what I'm talking about, like the song goes like, I start the song talking about like when we're kids, when we're little children, and nobody tells us that, the world kind of hates women. You don't grow up like with that mindset that you have to be kind of ready to get hurt because the world is so difficult, because it's a man's world. Nobody explains any of that. They tell you that it's all fairy tales and that the prince is gonna come save you, and they show you like movies of princesses and all the Disney thing, which I love, but it's also very negative in that aspect. Unrealistic, because when we grow up, like I feel like there's a certain point when we're like aging, we're growing, we're teenagers, where we kind of realize that it's not the way we thought it was, and that it's a lot worse than it seems. And I feel like me, because I had that awakening that I wanted to be a feminist, and I all of a sudden like realized all of these things that were fucked up about the world, it made me kind of hate society and a lot of things. And I feel like being an artist also, I definitely believe that artists are way too emotional when it comes to anything that is going on in the world and that we're passionate about. And I feel like it affected me personally so much that I couldn't find a better way to express it than to write a song about it and have someone hear it and be like, oh, she's talking about her life, but she's also talking about my life. And like everyone can relate to what I'm saying in the song because I'm just talking about how it goes, how it happens.
So did you have any like problems with the song? Like did you have like bad feedback about it?
I feel like no, I never. That's so interesting because I remember I was scared to show the song because I thought I was gonna have some sort of backlash. Like it was gonna be like some sort of like something controversial was gonna, get out of the situation. But when I talked about it and when I sang the song the first time, the whole feedback that I got was so good that I wanted to make it better. Like I wanted to make the song better. I wanted it to sound way too more, like I wanted it to be so clear that anyone in the audience who could hear it could feel it. So I started thinking like, how can I do this? What should I use? Like, and I remember that year, I actually wrote the song because I had been talking with my friends about the whole situation in 2018 where like 43 women were murdered by their husbands and nobody was talking about it. And I was like, what if I do a PowerPoint with their names and play the song while their names are like just rolling by. And when I did, it was way too powerful and I felt like it was gonna be a little triggering. But my teacher told me that I should definitely do it. And I remember me being scared. But when I finally did and we did the showcase, I remember a lot of people coming like towards me to tell me that it was very meaningful to them and that everyone had to hear the song, to post it online, to sing it somewhere else, to take it somewhere, because it was like a school thing. So nobody thought that I was actually gonna be doing anything with the song. But yeah, I was very scared of the backlash, but there was no backlash. Everything was good. The feedback was great. And I feel like that's the good thing about art, that it's kind of personal for everyone. If I had written like a monologue, it probably wouldn't have been as personal to people than if I had, been singing and had like the PowerPoint and the whole thing. It was definitely a project.
But it sounds amazing, like the whole story about it, like how you came up with it, how it started, and where it got you after you wrote it, because it's been places. Like your song didn't stay just at school. Like you were able to play it in San Juan.
Yeah, I went to a competition. It was kind of weird because I didn't know about the competition like until like 2 days before. But the whole thing with La Sanse was happening, and a lot of people, there was a lot of controversy about it because like people didn't want it to happen because, everything was kind of fucked up in that moment because of the earthquakes and everything that was happening. And I remember being very confused because I went to the competition and I sang the song and a lot of people performed and everyone was good. And I definitely didn't think that I was going to win at all because I hadn't even really like practiced, kind of messed up with the piano a few times when I was performing it. And I was very nervous. I gave kind of like a speech before singing the song and I don't remember anything that I said. I probably said a bunch of stupid shit. But after I did, I remember Limari Quintana was the host and Jolene was like in the audience and she recorded me. And I remember seeing her like recording me and I was very, very like nervous in that moment. And when I finished singing the song, Limari Quintana came towards me and hugged me. And she was crying. And when you hug someone and they like you can feel them like breaking down in your arms. Yeah. That was literally what happened with her when she hugged me. It was like she was about to break, and like her voice cracked and everything. Okay. And I definitely, in that moment, I was like, okay, this song definitely has some sort of like way of touching people that I never believed possible, because I feel like mainly when you write a song, I'm a perfectionist, so whenever I write a song, I think the worst of it, and I don't stop working on it until I feel like it's perfect. And this is one of those songs that I never worked on. I wrote it and I performed it the way I wrote it because I said what I had to say, and I couldn't find a way to make it better because it was just what it was. And it was definitely what it felt when I wrote it. So to feel like everyone got it and understood what I felt when I wrote it, it's a beautiful way to feel when you perform. I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people don't get like the reassurance that they should get after a performance, and the fact that I always do when I sing that song in specific is crazy. I love it because I feel like that is a topic that nobody really
talks about. Yeah.
Nobody really talks about, and when they do, everything is like taboo, and we can't really talk about it, and we can't really get into the messy stuff. But with that song, it's just very easy to just open the topic and have people talk about it.
That is honestly great. So I wanted to ask you, throughout your career as an artist, have you ever like have these moments where like your mental health has been crashing down? And like, yes. How did you deal with that? Like, what did you went through and how did you deal with it?
So I feel like this is a topic that I've been waiting to talk about and nobody like has asked me. So first of all, I have to thank you for bringing this platform to life and, you know, giving me the opportunity to talk about it, because it's a very important topic. Because as I said earlier, I feel like artists are very emotional people and they go through a lot, and it's kind of harder when you don't have a job. But me personally, I come from a very poor background. I grew up in a little town in Comerío, which is like in the middle of the island. I come from a very humble, poor background where I didn't grow up, you know, I didn't grow up thinking that I was gonna have money in the future, and I never even had the thought that I was gonna, you know, be able to do big things in life. Like I just grew up very humble and very grateful with the things that I had, and I was always told that I was very special because I had talent, and I was very talented since I was a little kid. Everyone knew it, not to brag or anything, but everyone would talk about it, and I grew up with that mentality that I was probably going to do something great in the future because I was very talented and I had, you know, I was going to have opportunities in life. I feel like heartbreak that I had inside of like my whole, like, I guess you can say career, because it's a part of, you know, getting there. I haven't gotten there yet, but I haven't gotten where I want to go, but I've definitely started a career. I went to study to New York last semester, and I remember the whole process of applying and going and auditioning, and it's very frustrating because, first of all, in New York, I am a minority. We are a minority in New York. You get to New York and you're a Latina and you speak Spanish, and maybe you don't have a perfect English accent, and you have a lot of people around you who are just as talented or maybe more talented or maybe not as talented, but definitely have skill or maybe have a lot of more experience than you do. And when you surround yourself with a lot of people who are just as great as you are, you tend to compare yourself a lot to other people. And I remember I've always felt very insecure about my acting skills because I've always been so good at music that nobody's ever given me a lot of feedback, and like nobody's ever told me that I'm great at acting. So I've always been kind of insecure about that. But it's never been because people don't support me. It's always been because people support my music so much that I always find like that there's not a balance between the two things in my life that I love the most. So I remember after my audition in Marymount, Marymount Manhattan College is the college that I went to, and the audition was very exciting. It was very nice because the people were great. The people who were auditioning us were so lovely, but there were a lot of people in the room who were so talented that I remember inside of my brain, the only thing that was happening was a lot of negative thoughts. They were like, you're gonna fail, you shouldn't even do this, you should get out of the room, you shouldn't be around so many talented people, like you're just gonna be a joke to them, your accent's probably gonna come out in the middle of the monologue. Like, I was thinking all these stupid things that nobody had told me before, that nobody was telling me, you're disgusting, you're all of this, but I would be telling that to myself. And I remember when I did audition, because I kind of pulled myself together until I did it. I did my audition, and it went great. And after that, like, everyone would come up to me and tell me, like, oh, that was great and whatever. And I would be telling other people too, because everyone was so talented. And I remember thinking, like, wow, there's a lot of people who go through this and don't go through it. Like, just get out of the situation because their mind is too powerful to let them just, you know, pull themselves together and just do the audition. And I feel like that's the good part about me, is that even though I'm very negative sometimes, I forget about what I'm thinking and just focus in the moment and just like focus in what's happening in my monologue and the lines and everything that I'm about to do. And that happens a lot with my writing, with my singing, with the way I look when I sing, with my hair, with the way I move, like with everything. I just judge all of it. But in the end, after I do what I have to do, I do get a sense of satisfaction that nothing else gives me, which is the good part, definitely.
Yeah, I believe that arts, it's like very personal, and maybe that's why it's so difficult sometimes and you get so nervous when you're doing it, because literally you're just like putting out there who you are. Like, it's your acting, it's your singing, like nobody else has your voice, nobody else has your skill to like act, nobody paints the way you paint. And it's difficult because it's like you're looking in a way for acceptance of what you are and who you are, that it's so complicated sometimes, and we get into this self-doubt all the time that we're like, we're not good enough, we're gonna fail. But we have to learn how to like move that aside and just, you're authentic, you're you're unique, nobody's gonna be able to do what you do the way you do. So you gotta tell that and show that to the world, like, this is me. Definitely. And that's it, you know. Did you ever had like body image issues throughout things, or when you had to do like auditions for roles? Was your like body type or your like image an issue sometimes for you to be like, well, I can't get that because I look like this? Because that happens.
It does happen a lot. I feel like the main thing about it has been the fact that whenever I have to like audition for something, it's usually for like commercials and stuff, because I've done a bunch of those. But people are always looking for something specific, and when you get a no, it's kind of annoying because they don't tell you what they're looking for. They just tell you that you're not it. And sometimes you don't get why. And like, it's very different. Like, for example, I remember I went to an audition. I went to a casting, and I was like one of the last ones that they wanted, like one of their last options. Like they probably had like 4 options, and I was inside of those. Like, they called me again to take more pictures of me and you know, do the whole thing again, because it was like a callback kind of thing. And they didn't choose me, they chose another girl, but the other girl was practically me. Like, we looked alike. And I remember just being home and watching the commercial and being like, wait, but they chose someone who looked so much like me. Why didn't they just pick me? So I was very confused. And I was thinking, I was like, she's probably like skinnier, or maybe she was just like, I don't know, like nicer, like maybe she acted better, or I don't know. Like, that was me, my brain going crazy, like, why didn't they choose me? And it's very stupid at the end of the day because you're just going crazy about something that probably had nothing to do with you. That probably like they were just looking for, I don't know, lighter hair, and that's why they chose her or whatever. And it's very tricky when you're so like, I would say I'm confident in my arts, but I'm definitely not as confident in my body. So I do tend to jump to conclusions that certain decisions are because of my body. But I also think that maybe that's not the reason.
Okay.
But anyway, going like about the commercials, that's something that usually happens. And also when I'm like rehearsing for an audition or whatever about like theater, when I have to like do like a performance for a callback or whatever, I usually prepare so much that when I get to the audition, I don't have to like really worry about the material, and I can worry more about how I look that day. Which is, it's kind of stupid because you don't really, like, it's not, like, how you look shouldn't be
the priority.
You know? Yeah, it shouldn't be the priority, but for us girls, sadly, it kind of always is the case that they look at your body and they judge how you look and how you move and everything, all of that. So that's what I do. I usually prepare my monologue or everything. I practice until I can do it asleep. And then that day I wake up early, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I try a lot of outfits to see what works better. And it's kind of depressing when they tell you that you can't go with makeup, and then you're thinking, oh my God, they're gonna see my acne, or they're gonna see like how I look when I'm like sweaty or whatever. But I feel like when you do really get in the mindset, that's when you can really work and just be okay with whatever happens in the audition.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes like we think that everything is like acne is not normal, and being chubby is not normal, and having curly hair is not normal. And it's all because we live in this world where like we have the phone and we have Photoshop and we have all these filters, and we see this people that is like, oh my God, she's perfect. She has the perfect skin. She has the perfect body. But what is really perfect if like beauty is relative, you know? Like,
definitely,
it's normal to have acne. It's normal to have bigger thighs. It's all normal. Like, we shouldn't beat ourselves so much, like, for being who we are.
It is an issue that has so much to do with society and so much to do with language and so much to do with so many things that in the end are stupid. But it is a big issue to, like, body shaming is a big thing, especially nowadays when we have, like, everything that we, you know, want to look for, it's here. Like, I remember watching, like, an interview. I don't know if it was, like, Demi Lovato or who was talking about it. There's celebrities who, you know, struggle a lot with body shaming, and they can look up whatever they are thinking of themselves, and it's probably something is gonna pop up because everyone talks about it. And I feel like it's so annoying that everyone talks about like Bad Bunny's girlfriend and how she's like not like the stereotypical beautiful girl that a guy would date. That's stupid. What kind of girl is this?
The normal girl that someone should date.
Yeah. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I feel like people spend so much time judging people's bodies that is just irrelevant. I feel like there's so many things to talk about that are better to talk about, a lot more important things, like topics that we should be talking about, nobody's talking about. And definitely, our bodies are not what we should be talking about.
Exactly. So have you ever gone through like bullying throughout your artistic career when you were younger, or now that you're older? Like maybe because of your body, maybe because of like who you are as a person, or jealousy, because it can also happen.
It also happens. Yeah. Okay. So when I was younger, I used to go to these competitions that they had like in my school every single year. They were like these talent shows. Everyone would sing, and there would be a lot of talented people, and I was never one of the people who won. I would always get the second place. I was never like good enough to win. And I wouldn't call it bullying, but there were definitely a group of girls throughout my childhood who just knew that I would lose every year, and they were always right. And I was always so mad at the fact that they were right, because every single year, I wanted to prove them wrong, and I wanted to like be better, and it would just never happen. But now that I look back, they're probably younger or older than I am. I'm not sure right now, but they're not doing music. And it's very sad. I feel like part of the reason why, I don't know, the universe, God, didn't let me win was because I wasn't going to have the drive that I have now to be so successful at it, because I was always trying to make it perfect and be better and better and better. I would practice every single day. And I feel like now that I'm older, I don't necessarily have like people bullying on me, but I definitely have a lot of people giving me feedback that isn't necessarily always good. Like I have a lot of people telling me, like, get better at this other thing, or, oh, you have this and you have that, but you have to be, I don't know, like you should dance, or you should start like, you know, getting better at producing. I don't know. Like I always have somebody telling me something that I should be, you know, looking forward next, which is good.
What I believe with that is that, like, it's okay to have feedback and all of this, and it's okay. Sometimes we do have to work on things, but it's about like the way they say it. Sometimes it's not as polite as you would like for it to be. And another thing is, like, if I like my music, for example, and like you make music, if you like your music that way, it's because you made it that way and it's yours. Like people shouldn't be telling you, oh, you should have like played more piano instead of like the guitar or whatever. Like if you're happy with your product, then that's all that should matter.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's another thing that happens like when you're an artist, is that you don't really take criticism the right way like all the time, because when you're young like I am, and I haven't really gotten much feedback from people that aren't my family, because my family's always judging me and trying to help me be better. But like I remember when I entered the theater program in Celine when I was in high school, every single feedback that I would get from the teacher, Miguel, I remember always being so cautious about it and like careful and really wanting to make it perfect, as I wanted to impress him. But at the end of the day, he was never trying to be impressed by anyone. He was just trying to prove to us that we could be better, that we could do better. And that's why he was always so open about, like, if you want to follow any type of career that has to do anything with the arts, I'm here to help you. Like, that's what I'm doing with my life. Like, I went to study to New York. I got my degree. I came back. I'm doing this. I'm doing great things. I'm working with a lot of people. And he did. I went to New York. I lived in New York for 5 months with my best friend, who gave me permission. And it was all basically because of him, because he believed in us, and because he helped us believe in ourselves. And I feel like that's the people that, when you're growing up as an artist, you should surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people who don't support you, who don't believe that you are gonna, you know, do great things in life and, you know, get to Broadway if you want to get there. Like, if you surround yourself with people who just don't believe in you, you're probably not gonna believe in yourself ever. And that's definitely something that I feel like would be an advice to any young artist that is starting, or that feels like they're not gonna go anywhere with their art. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Surround yourself with people who tell you you can do it. And that's all you need, basically, to get to wherever you want to.
So I want to know, what are your plans? Like, when this quarantine is over, what is your plan? Like, your life goal right now?
So I have a few that are for this year. I have a few that are for the future. My plans right now are to finish an album that I'm currently kind of crafting. Because of this quarantine, I haven't been able to go to the studio, but I've also started producing, which I definitely have to give 100% like credit to the quarantine, because I wasn't doing much when I when I was busy all the time. But I was definitely working on my music before quarantine, and I'm still working on my music. But as you can see in my social media, I'm just making covers and mashups and stuff because I get bored, and that's how I can, you know, stay healthy. I feel like if I don't do art, I'm just straight up not healthy. Like you can definitely see if I'm doing well if I have been doing something artistic. But if I have been in bed all week and I don't find inspiration and my muse has been gone for like a month, I'm definitely not at my best emotionally and mentally. But I have been this week, and I have been in the past few weeks. So I feel like quarantine has been great for me because I've been creating all the time. I definitely know that that's not the case for every single artist out there. I know there's a lot of people who don't have their stuff that they can deal with. Some people are not quarantining with their guitar, with their piano. Some people just don't have the things that they need. And that's how it was for me at the beginning of quarantine. I didn't have any of my stuff, and I ended up going to my dad's house to get everything because I was gonna go crazy if I didn't. But I definitely plan on finishing my album, putting music out there, and recording a lot of videos. I feel like creating content, that's all I plan on right now. And then in the future, I definitely want to finish studying acting. I couldn't this semester. It was too risky for me to go to New York this semester because we were kind of tight on money. And so being back here in Comerío, which I hadn't been in Comerío since before the Hurricane Maria because my house got messed up. Then I moved to New York. So I hadn't been here since before Maria. And then when I got back from New York, I just came straight to home. This is where I grew up. And I feel like being here is just inspiring in general because it's a beautiful place and I love it. But in the future, yeah, I want to finish my studies. I want to be an actress, a professional one. Like I want to get better at everything that I'm not great at. I want to put my music out there, and I want to kind of hopefully make a living out of all of this.
Okay, and you see yourself more as a musical theater actress, or you see yourself more of a songwriter? Like, what is out there for you that you say, like, okay, this is it? Or you're still, like, debating into it?
It's so interesting. I've had this conversation with my best friend a lot because I feel like I'm just gonna say it the way I said it to her and the way we talk about it. It's kind of, everyone's been waiting for me to just explode doing music because I've been doing music for so long, and I'm definitely better at music than on anything else. But when I went to Celine and I did a bunch of, you know, things in theater, and I did musical theater. I played Maureen in Brands. I played Laura in Contratiempo. I did a bunch of things that made me realize that that's what I want to be doing because I'm combining the two things that I love, that is acting and music. And I feel like in the end, I am going to be doing that because when I make my final product, I'm pretty sure my shows are going to be, you know, basically like a show. Like it's gonna be like, I'm probably gonna have monologues, I'm probably gonna be singing my own songs. But since I'm a singer-songwriter and I've been writing a lot lately, and I've realized that that's all I want to do for the rest of my life, I see myself like a cerebralist because I can write my own songs. I could probably make my own musical. I can sing, I can act whenever I want. And I'm probably gonna be more centered in my music. But I definitely want to be on Broadway. I definitely want to be on Broadway. It's everything. It's like, okay. Right now it's music and I'm gonna be focused on music. But in the future, you know, New York better be waiting for me.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna be there.
That's great. That's really, really great. I just wanted to ask you one last thing, and that is, what is the advice that you would give to rising artists right now? Like, what is that thing that you say, okay, you need to do this? or you should think about this or think less about that? Like, what is that you would tell rising artists to?
Okay, so first of all, anyone who's listening and who feels like they need advice in this, if you don't do the things that you love every day, like if you don't sing every day and you want to be a singer in the future, like if you mean to be an actress but you don't really watch movies, or you want to be on Broadway but you don't have a musical that you love, that you're obsessed with, go study the things that already exist. If you want to be a musician, go study artists, go study music, go study. And when I say study, I don't mean like go study online. I mean like literally just listen to music or just find new artists that are not crazy famous right now, and just go look for the things that you want to do in the future and find inspiration from those things, because I feel like what makes an artist is what they've been listening to and what they've been looking at and what they've been studying. So I feel like definitely go do that. That's a first. And second, if you want to be a singer, sing. It's very easy. Go sing every day. Go karaoke. You can do karaoke on YouTube. It's very easy. If you want to be an actress, go learn a monologue. There's so many monologues on like everywhere. You can find any monologue. You can find a monologue that you love from one of your favorite movies. If you want to be an actress, go watch all the movies that you haven't watched. This is the greatest time right now. Being in quarantine is the greatest time to just do all those things that you haven't done before and to explore new things. But definitely do the things that you want to do in the future. If you're not doing them right now, there's no point in wanting to do them in the future, because if you're not if you want to be a singer but you don't love singing right now, you're probably not going to love singing in 20 years when you are a big artist. So you do really have to have so much commitment in the things that you want to do to be able to get there, especially if you want to be an artist, because it's such a big, difficult journey that you just have to be very willing to go through. Like, it's a very, some people have it easier, of course. Some people have the things that maybe we don't have right now. But to get there, there's a lot of things that you have to go through. And if you're not willing to go through those things, you're definitely not going to be happy in the end, and you're never going to be satisfied. So yeah, just go have fun with everything you find on the internet. If you do have the internet. If you don't have the internet, go, I don't know, talk to your mom and ask her what's her favorite artist, and ask her if she's ever watched, I don't know, a musical before. And if she hasn't, go watch a musical with your mom and stuff. Like, have fun with the people that you're quarantining with, and also study the things that you want to do in the future. That's it. It's fun.
So where can people find your art?
Ooh, okay. So when you go on the internet, you can Google a page called lalahmusic.com, and Lalah is written Lalah, and then music, just like it sounds, .com, and you're gonna find my website, I guess. And when you get there, you can find my social media, you can find my YouTube channel, you can find a little story about my life, you can find some pictures, and that's where I'm gonna be putting my music in the future. When I'm done with the creating, my music is gonna be out there. It's probably not gonna take as much time as a lot of people think. But yeah, if you subscribe to my website, you're probably gonna be getting a lot of emails from me and my art and my music. And I'm posting most of my stuff on Instagram. So if you want to find me on Instagram, it's lalah.music. And I like what I'm doing. I feel like I'm having a good time. And it's also just all like quarantine stuff that I'm creating. So I feel like people are gonna feel good when they find someone who's doing something with the little stuff that they have like in their house, because it's quarantine and we gotta be here. every day.
Well, I wanted to thank you so much for saying yes to this project. Honestly, I had an amazing time listening to you and being able to like ask you all of these things. And just thank you for saying yes to this project. That honestly means
Aww.
the world to me. So thank you very much.
I want to thank you for having this platform and having, just speaking and talking about all these things that are so important to talk about. I feel like it's a very important time to be aware and conscious about mental health and about art in general. Art is always something that everyone should be talking about. And I love that you're talking about it, and I love you personally. So thank you so much for inviting me and for having me and asking me all of these questions and listening to me. I loved it. So yeah, whenever you need anything else, I'm always down.
Thank you very much.
A ella le gusta la gasolina, dame más gasolina. A ella le encanta la gasolina.